Welcome to the Longest Take podcast. Thank you for listening to the Longest Take podcast. In today's episode, I am joined by Jerry S. Gonzalez. Jerry is a visionary, filmmaker, ambitious and enthusiastic individual based out of the Chicagoland area. He's created such fun short films and creative short films such as The Spaghetti Man, Hamster in My Head, Intergalactic Pizza Boy, There's Something in the Woods. And he's got a feature film coming called Big Spooky House, which is currently in pre-production. Please be on the lookout for that. Thank you for listening. All right, so first things first, what are your top 5 favorite movies?
Top 5 favorite movies. Let's see, we got Evil Dead 2, we got Muppets Christmas Carol, we got Face Off. I couldn't decide between Kung Fu Hustle or The Birdcage, but I think my number one is RoboCop, which you can see right there.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right behind me.
And something that I think goes across most of those is just the practical effects.
Yeah.
They're just, really great. And I think some of them use like stop motion too. I know for sure RoboCop does.
Evil Dead 2 for sure.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Hustle has like a lot of CG.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it's like one of those things where I like movies that feel like cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just
what's the name of the lady with the she's got the cigarette? What's that lady's name in Kung Fu Hustle?
I don't remember. I know this is so embarrassing, even though I said it was one of my favorite movies, but I'm like, oh, I love that lady.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in so long, but I remember that. And you know what? It probably came out after, but for me, they came out around the same time. Is that in a Kung Pao Enter the Fist?
Yeah.
That one where it's like Steve Odenkirk does the dubbing over older movies, but
that one's so fun. Oh man, I need Gopher Chucks.
Yeah. And then like I remember since I was a kid when I watched that one, I was so excited about that end sequence, the after credits where it's like a preview for a new one, but it was just like a joke.
I didn't see I must have like turned it off or something. I've never seen that part.
Shit, I forgot what they called it, but yeah, it was just like it's making the audience think like, oh, this is the next one, the sequel's gonna be. But I think, unless this is in the actual movie, but there's a cow that shoots these bullets.
I think that's in the actual movie. Okay. Yeah, I do remember that, like as clear as day.
And he does. It's like
it haunts my dreams. Yeah. We need more current movies that reference the Matrix.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like no reason.
A while we had comedies that were doing it. Especially Bullet Time, but we need that to come back. We need
I haven't seen the new Scary Movie yet, but I mean, like Scary Movie 1, where they did that.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, you know what? I need to see it because I wonder if they go after like John Wick or anything like that, or if they stick with horror this time around. That's a good question.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious, like exactly if it's like good or not.
Right. I'm hearing mixed things. Like, but my biggest thing is like, okay, it's gonna be okay as long as it's better than 5. Because 5 is the only one that I straight up was like, this sucks. But
I don't even think I've seen 5.
It's the one with Ashley Tisdale.
I don't remember. I have definitely seen 1 through 4.
Yeah,
but I think I might have missed out on 5.
It's good. Good that you missed it. Cause...
Yeah, good. It's good that I missed it.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll probably either wait for VOD or maybe check it out next week or something. But yeah, parody movies is another one that we're getting a little more now again. But
thank you. I think if I had a number 7, I think it would have been Airplane, because I absolutely love Airplane, and I do miss movies that are just unapologetically stupid and just have really good visual gags.
Yeah, like. And Don't Call Me Shirley, Shirley, you can't be serious.
Mm-hmm. There's so many good one-liners. Oh, I have a drinking problem. Throws water over his shoulder.
Yeah. Naked Gun, the newest Naked Gun. I love that.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
And then at least Scary Movie.
If you had an ass, I'd make the toilet beg for the brown.
Yeah.
It's like,
Take
where
a
do you come up
seat.
with that?
Take a seat. Oh, I don't need one.
Yeah.
But Scary Movie 6 at least is going to make a lot of money. So it's
Mhm.
at least going
I
to,
think it won this weekend in the box
yeah.
office. I was keeping my eyes on the box office this weekend.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So I don't know if you saw Masters of the Universe yet, but I did, and I thought it was actually pretty fun.
it
But
looks like a fun movie. I mean, I'm not the biggest Jared Leto fan, but I am
um,
excited. I mean, it just looks like a lot of fun. So maybe I'll catch that on streaming or something.
yeah, and surprisingly, Skeletor was one of the best parts of the movie, but you don't know that if nobody said it was Jared Leto, you'd have no idea. He's just
Sure.
completely
I'd say
like
his
covered
voice
the
is
whole.
so modulated. I
Yep.
think I've seen some clips.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish it would. I think it's going to be a flop based on what it pulled this weekend and its budget, but
I think 4 million, which is
oh
not
yeah,
that great. Yeah.
not at all. But
But
that's
we're big fans of Skeletor over here.
yeah.
We love Skeletor.
Good. Good. But that's another one where it's like, okay, you want these types of movies to succeed because they're just having fun and they're unapologetically doing so. And
Mhm.
not to mention the director Travis Knight. I think it's Travis Knight.
Yeah, Travis Knight.
He did Kubo and the Two Strings, which is incredible. Paranorman. I absolutely adore that movie. He's doing Wild Woods, which is coming out I think later this year.
I should have
Um
looked into his. Now I'm like excited to see it because I did love Kubo and the Two Strings a
yeah.
lot.
Oh, he did
And
Bumblebee. He did like the
oh, the Bumblebee movie. I
yeah.
didn't see the Bumblebee movie, but I heard that was like a little bit better than the Michael Bay ones.
Yeah, it has heart,
Okay.
which the other ones do not. They're just like corporate. Just I enjoy them. Technically, they look
Yeah. We're
fucking
seeing
awesome.
like a huge shift in Hollywood right now, which I
Yeah,
think is very interesting. And now we're kind of leaning towards more like what younger, like Gen Z audiences want to see. So it's really cool to see things like the Amazing Digital Circus being #1 on Friday, and like also seeing like Obsession and The Back Room still like killing it at the box office. So I'm like, we're here at it's the indie renaissance. It's the best time to make indie movies. Let's do it.
absolutely. And I love that about the Backrooms too, because my best friend, I had gotten him for his birthday an A24 shirt,
Mhm.
just a T-shirt, and he was wearing it, and like his 12-year-old next door neighbor went up to him, and he's like, "Is that A24 like the Backrooms?" So like yeah, I think it's amazing for that to be an avenue for kids to get into like
Yeah, but can you imagine if he was like the lighthouse?
like what? But hey, you got to start somewhere,
Yeah,
whatever gives you that
that's
exposure.
awesome. That's so awesome.
I love that. But switching gears here a little bit, so kind of taking things back at the very early on in your career here. So, and this is the earliest project I had seen of yours, and I think it's the earliest I've seen on IMDb. It's called "There's Something in the Woods." Um, and the thing that was really interesting about that, especially in the context of your other projects, is, even back then, you're like focused on getting good puppetry, getting good costumes, the visual effects, all that fun stuff. I would love to know how you got started in visual effects, because that project was very indicative, I think, of just like your trajectory from then on and what you like to do with your films.
Well, thank you very much. It's good that that is like the earliest work that you have found of mine. I've done a very good job of just scrubbing the internet of all my previous work.
That's fair. Yeah.
Because I mean, I started at a very early age. I've been making movies since I was 3. And then made a lot of sketches in high school, messed around with like animation. So I made like animations of my friends, and like I would show my teachers and stuff. And then like college, I like really got into making like video game parodies. But like I was using like my crusty MacBook and like my mom's like crusty laptop. So it's just like the processing power of those devices was not a lot. So I just really couldn't like delve into 3D. There was not a lot of info about working with like 3D modeling. So to make these ideas happen, I had to find like another avenue. And like that's how I just got into puppets. And of course, I also got in like cosplay at the same time, like going to conventions and stuff. So I was able to mix all that together and just make these really ambitious ideas happen. But yeah, it's just like I really strive to make the movie that's in my head no matter what.
Right. And things like, especially if you're doing a more fantasy or sci-fi thing, there's definitely an avenue to it. And, the practicality of just making some puppets, making that all work, the animation, really DIY, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think that
Especially with like There's Something in the Woods. That was such a this is a labor of love. It took me like 2 years to finish that. And just working with the processing power of my laptop, it took forever to do all the visual effects. Like I was working on Chicago Med at the time. I was a featured extra for a year, and I just bringing my laptop to set and just like in between like scenes, just trying to like work on all these shots. It was a lot, but
so with that short, it wasn't like a thesis project for school or anything. It was just you were like, hey, I've got this idea, like let's make it.
well, I didn't really work on a lot of stuff in college. I mean, I do have college short films, and like I have one that has a robot in it. Maybe one day I will re-release that somewhere. I'm not really proud of it.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere. But like I really wanted this to be like my calling card, especially because like I felt like I wasted my time in college because well, both wasted and not wasted my time. I figured out all the things like I wanted to do and all the things I didn't want to do. But I didn't have like time to really focus on anything. And I think after everything, I really wanted to be a director. And like when I got to that, when I started at that school, they were like, "Oh, you don't want to be a director." So I tested a lot of different things. So that was kind of like my college thesis film in a way, where I was like, okay, I actually don't want to do video game parodies anymore. I don't really find them fulfilling. I'm gonna go and make something that I could be proud of, that I'm gonna put my entire heart and soul into. And like I want to have a world populated by monsters. So
Yeah, I love that. And with them saying like, you don't want to be a director, do you think that schools will do that just to kind of taper expectations about like, the students? Because you get a lot of people coming in and they're super ambitious and they want to be the next Steven Spielberg and stuff. So do you think it's just like, it's just a standard thing that they say to their students just to kind of keep them grounded a little
I
bit?
can kind of see where they're coming from, where it's like, oh, maybe you could probably make a lot more money as a DP, just being able to be useful in like another project in some way.
Right.
Because it's like it's so hard to, have someone pay you to be the director. And like you have to have years of like stuff that like under your belt to be like, hey, I've proved myself, I can direct. Now pay me to direct. It's like it's such a hard job to like get into.
Yeah, and it's like not even, you got project management, but you also have leadership fundamentals that you have to show everybody because you're managing an entire team. You're trying to get this big vision together, and there are so many moving parts. And those are things that not everybody has that personality for it. And a
Yeah.
lot of people don't have the motivation for it because some people you're faced with adversity and you're like, oh, I don't want to do this shit anymore.
Right.
You're like, oh, well, this isn't for me. Bye.
And I guess because I've made it this far, it's like I have to stick with it. I don't have a choice.
Well, I would hope so. At this
Yeah.
point, you're like, all right, fuck it. But no, obviously you've got something there from that directing perspective. And it's worked out this far, right? But as a writer, your stories have been, very fantastical, whimsical, quirky, sci-fi, monstrous intrigue. What inspires you as a writer? And then how does that make its way onto the page and then onto the screen?
Like I'm inspired by like anything and everything. I think I like the idea of just bringing the mundane to something that's like unmundane. Is that a word? But just
Sure. Yeah.
yeah, like I like to think like what do like whimsical things do on their days off? Just like I just find it interesting to make an audience care for something that's like not human. But I always start with like a very strong visual, and like I try to deconstruct it from there.
So let's use because the next question is going to talk about Spaghetti Man, but let's use Spaghetti Man as an example. So what was that first image you saw for that project, and then how did it kind of like grow from there, from the writing perspective?
So funny enough, that's like the one exception. Like Spaghetti Man didn't come from like an image; it just came from me really wanting to go like finally dipping my toes into like the festival scene because unfortunately when I made There's Something in the Woods, it didn't really have much of a festival run. It got released during COVID and like all the
Oh
festivals
no.
were online. And then with the following film, like it didn't do that well at festivals. But then like I got into like one festival, which was Days of the Dead, and like I had such a great time at that festival. I was like, I need to come back to this festival, so I need to make a film. I have 1 year to make a movie. So I really like on the plane ride going home, I was just thinking of like horror films and like what's something I could do with the horror genre that would be interesting and like what could I like do to like subvert expectations. So it's mostly I guess the image would be like that trope of like a mother going to her child's school and then like the teacher's like, oh, your kid is drawing really messed up things, and then I just really wanted to subvert and just do something different with that.
And then you completely designed the suit and everything for Spaghetti Man yourself?
Yes, I built the suit. It was there was a body like a leotard right underneath it, and like I spent probably days just adding every individual strand of liquid latex dipped in or yarn dipped in liquid latex and just putting it every like all over that suit, like lovingly, caringly. Uh, it was a lot. It was a lot of fun. Um,
Yeah, and
yeah.
compared to There's Something in the Woods, how long did it take for the post production on Spaghetti Man?
Like it was quick. Because I mean I was editing it. I think tools got a lot better by the time I got to Spaghetti Man because there was a lot of like rotoscope work in There's Something in the Woods, and I guess if an audience doesn't know what rotoscoping is, it's basically um, cutting out a subject from every single frame to like plop them in a new background or just whatever reason you need to do that. And like I remember the rotoscoping tools when I was doing that on There's Something in the Woods, it would take forever like to render out a frame. Like I didn't know what I was looking at for like half the time just because my computer was so crusty. But by the time I got to Spaghetti Man, like I was working on a much better computer and I was able to like knock out shots a lot quicker.
Good, good. And I love that you brought up rotoscoping, and it's done a little differently. But one of my favorite examples to bring up is Richard Linklater's Waking Life, which
Mm.
is amazing, and then also Scanner Darkly. Both of those utilized rotoscoping technology, which super dope. But yeah, my next question was going to be whether or not you upgraded your computer to work on Spaghetti Man. What about Intergalactic Pizza Boy? Was that one
Yeah,
also on
that
the
was the first
crusty?
project I. Oh, sorry, what?
Was that also on the crusty computer, or did you upgrade for that one too?
Oh no, I definitely by the time I got to Intergalactic Pizza Boy, I did
Okay.
upgrade and like by then it was like great, I'm gonna actually start experimenting with 3D for that one.
Oh, cool. Yeah, because that one definitely very, very big on the visual effects too. So what was the post production on that one then? How long did that take?
I think that also might have taken like about a year in post production. Like but like that was like another 2 year one. Yeah.
Gotcha. How big of a cast was that? I'm trying to. It's hard to think
It
because
was a
I know
very
that.
small cast for that film, and like by that time I was like also like in the comedy scene, so I was pulling a lot from like comedic
Mhm.
actors from around Chicago, and I wasn't really involved in like the film scene just yet, and like I had to teach a lot of these comedians like how to use like equipment. I mean, thankfully, like I had a skilled DP, so like he knew what he was doing, but like everyone else was like I had to kind of teach them like, oh, this is how you hold a boom pole, and
Right. I love that. You know what? There's such a charm to that where it's just like you get this ragtag team together and you make it work. And usually, I mean, it works out. But going back to Spaghetti Man, so now that it's on Bloody Bites and Screenbox, which was super awesome to hear about, how did that all come to be?
Um, it just goes to show like how important just like networking and like meeting people is, and like also going to film festivals, like getting your films into festivals and then actually going and like meeting people. because that came about, and this is like a very like roundabout way. I went to Midsummer Scream, which I'm happy to go back. I'm going back this July. So I was there. A friend introduced me to a producer who he said, "Hey, send me your film. I would love to see it." Um, Sent it to him. He saw it. He was like, this would go great on Bloody Bites. Let me connect you with the programmer. So he connected me with the programmer from Cineverse, and we got to talking. And I remember we were emailing back and forth. It was going great. And then I hit a bit of a snag where um, this. It's funny because we just talked about this in like a info session about quality checks and just
Hmm.
like making sure you have all your like T's crossed and your I's dotted. And like I didn't have all the release forms, and they were asking me for like all these like different things like release forms and everything. So I had to go hunt down all these release forms because I thought we had that on Spaghetti Man, but apparently no one took down the release forms. So this should be a lesson to all the listeners that make sure you get in writing from everybody, like everyone's release forms, and that took forever. So that took about like 4 months, and by the time I got back to emailing that guy, like the conversation went silent, and I was like, oh shit, I fucked it up. I should have, I wish I could have sent this a whole lot sooner. But thankfully, the same producer from before, he was like, "Oh, is your film on the platform yet?" I was like, "Oh no, it's not. We kind of like lost connection." He's like, "Don't worry, I'm gonna revitalize this call." So this email thread. So he was able to like kind of do that in a not awkward way, and eventually, like the guy got back to us, and yeah, I was able to finally get us into season 16 of Bloody Bites. And since then, he's been a good contact for me. He's been trying to get me on one of his projects, which unfortunately just didn't work out this time. But we are still kind of in each other's radars, and hopefully down the line we can work on something together.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And you said it perfectly about networking. That is the most important thing, I think, when you're an up and coming filmmaker or you want to work on films. Whether it's film festivals or even those filmmaker Fridays that we occasionally go to, right?
Yeah, I think
Um,
those are really good.
yeah, just a place for you to talk and connect with people. You don't always have to have a project in mind, but it's great to just have people to have on social media for the time being. So when a project comes up, boom, you can get people on it.
Yeah, it's just making as many connections as possible, just going out, meeting as many new people because you never know. And then, like, for me, I like to bring people together. Sometimes when someone's talking to me, I'm like, who you really need is so and so. So let me get you in touch with so and so really quick. And it just brings me joy to just like bring the community together.
Right, absolutely. That's what it's all about. And you mentioned Midsummer Scream this year. So Hamster in My Head, that's the film, right? That got
Yep.
accepted?
Hamster in My Head is going to Midsummer Scream, and we're up for a jury prize, or we're nominated for a jury prize. So fingers crossed,
Yeah.
we get one of those. I think there's at least two of those prizes that sound like it could be up Hamster's alley.
Good,
It doesn't.
good. Yeah, how is
Yeah.
and I just realized I didn't ask much about Hamster right now, but I'll throw that in there now. So, how has the festival run been going so far with Hamster?
It's been blowing me out of the water. It's been blowing me out of the water. Uh, just I'm very uh I'm just overwhelmed with just joy and just like happy that like a lot of people like this film. It seems like it's doing a lot better than like Spaghetti Man has in terms of just awards and like nominations and like um when does this get released? This podcast.
Usually I try to do it on Tuesdays, so I was gonna look to this week, but if you want to,
Hey, I think it's fine. Whatever.
okay.
Well, because like this was the first project of mine to get into the Midwest Film Festival, which I'm in
Oh,
like
nice.
wow, it's like Senpai finally noticed me. I make all these weird schlocky movies, and like finally, people that I view as prestigious, like they recognize my work, and I'm very excited because it seemed well. I mean, I know that I'm also nominated for a few awards for that as well. I'm like, and they're not just not like directing awards, but like stuff that like other people have done, like that they brought to this project, and like
Mhm.
they're getting nominated for. So it's like I get to work with some of the coolest people, and that's awesome to me. And they're getting recognized for their work, and I'm just so happy that like the praise that this movie has been getting, um, it's been very validating for me.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And Midwest Film Fest, is that like I guess one of the more prestigious local festivals? I'm not too familiar with it.
Oh yeah, I think so. Um, I've always viewed it as prestigious, but
Yeah.
like one of the more main ones that I think filmmakers should try to submit to.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Hamster in My Head, I think, is just such like a charming movie where it could get accepted in genre festivals, but also get accepted elsewhere because, like, especially like the comedy in it too, right?
Yeah.
Um, and that also leads me to ask, like, what was the idea for this one? Because, like, kind of like, what the fuck, like, there's
Well,
a
going back to strong visuals,
yeah,
this came about when like I think this there was like an inkling of an idea when I started working on like Intergalactic Pizza Boy, and I was looking at a lot of like cool retro futuristic art, and like I was looking at a lot of these pulpy cop like novels from like the 60s, and like I landed on one where there was like you can see like a rodent in some robot's brain. Um, and I was like, well, I got to know what this guy's love life is like.
oh, that's
And of
hilarious.
course, I grew up with hamsters, so I had to make it about a hamster instead. But I feel like with a lot of people have been coming up to me. It's like, oh, sometimes I feel like I have a hamster in my head. I'm like, oh, I guess there's something to that.
Yeah, that's a good way to connect everybody, right?
Mhm.
When I was a kid, I would make these really poorly drawn comic books, and a lot of them were animal themed, and one of them was called Jeff the Bionic Hamster, and it was
That's
like
cool.
this cyborg little hamster fighting crime. It's just
I think we got our next movie.
oh shit, the film adaptation of my fucking
Yeah.
childhood comic book. But still though, I love that I think at the loose ends, that loose ends in Friends,
Mhm.
you had the head, didn't you? Did you have
I
that like a
might have
table
brought the
there?
head with me.
Because I've seen it somewhere. I think you had it somewhere, but I don't remember where
I,
exactly.
I've definitely brought it to different screenings. I don't know if I brought it to that screening,
Yeah.
but uh, I might have brought it. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think I've been to two screenings that had Hamster, but yeah, I don't
I should start advertising that more. Like the head will be making an appearance.
right, so we could see the head.
Yeah.
Because I swear, maybe I'm crazy and I didn't see it, but I'm pretty sure I saw the head was brought somewhere. Um,
Yeah, definitely. I brought it to the premiere, and I kind of did the whole like Medusa to the Gorgon thing from Clash of the Titans. I was
oh
like, ah,
yeah.
look at it.
Oh, I love that. But that's really cool to hear though. Love those success stories. Really dope just to see those very creative movies getting such good traction. Um, from the directing perspective, what do you think because you've directed, a number of projects now, you're going into your feature, what are the
Big
strongest
feature.
tenets? Yeah. What are the strongest tenets that go with directing that you've, experienced?
I think one of the most important things is just being chill. Just rolling with the punches. Things happen. There's no reason to scream at anybody. Um, just like be someone that is just uh, someone that can take notes and just because you're going to be stuck with people for hours, and you just want to be. I'm having like a lot of brain fog for some reason,
It's okay.
but like I would just say that like 70% of directing is just good casting. Just as long as you cast someone that is like really right for the role, then you're not going to really get much pushback here and there. And I mean, like I have been unfortunate to work with people that like I didn't like fully vet before like actually working with them. I'm like, okay, this is kind of like stressful to work with. But yeah, it's also my job to just create like the ultimate environment for people to feel like their ideas are seen, and like I don't I really push to leave like the ego at the door, and like I've had some bad ideas, and like if an actor was like, if I told an actor, oh, I think you should do this, and like they were like, actually, my character won't do that. It's like, you know what, you're right. Let's do it your way. It's just like you should always listen to people, and like I really try to listen to people and just make sure that like my like even though like everything is like designed by me, everything that like most of the lines are stuff that I wrote, and like I'm always open to people like introducing new things and trying to find a way to make like this project their own. And also like I just think having as many rehearsals as humanly possible is great. I mean, like I think one of my favorite days on Hamster in my head was just directing the meet cute scene, just because like we had the extra time to just kind of run the scene as many times, and just like that was the first time I was like, I'm a director. I'm actually directing this scene, and we're like, I'm kind of seeing, I'm kind of like looking at it, and like, I think maybe at this point, can I hear something more like this from you? And um, I think I want to like a bigger nope on this line, and just like really fine tune it. And I'm really proud of that scene. I think it's one of the better scenes I've directed.
Yeah, and I think that, especially seeing like a meet cute scene, I think that that does give a lot of opportunity to, kind of express some of those more like directing chops, right? But the way you describe it, I think it sounds like you nurture a very collaborative culture on set, and I think that that is like one of the most important things for a project. A couple of my favorite directors, they have this company called Rustic Films, and their slogan is "Make movies with friends." And like,
Yeah.
I totally try to champion that, and I think that the more you try to champion that, the better it makes people feel on set.
Yeah, and I
Um,
completely agree with that. And just with like Big Spooky House, like I am trying to set myself up for success. So I mean, like I will be hopefully working with a lot of people that I have worked with before. But I mean, like I'm also trying to challenge myself. So there's going to be a big chunk of people um, that I haven't worked with before that maybe are considered uh, bigger names and talent. I won't say much right now, and we are going to be announcing people hopefully towards the end of the month. But yeah, throughout the next few months, you're going to hear some more crazier names. So stay tuned for that. But I mean, I'm a little nervous about that, but I'm hoping that like everyone's just cool. I just hope that everyone's cool, and if everyone's cool, then we can get through this in our days a lot quicker. But I'm ready for anything.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do. Because even if something comes up, one of the other key fundamentals is just knowing how to troubleshoot, knowing
Hmm.
how to improvise, knowing how to just kind of wing it if you have to, and just know like, well, this came up, but we'll figure it out. Um,
Right.
we'll we'll get through this.
I love quick fixes. Like
Yeah.
I've constantly told people about the story of like on like Hamster. There's a scene where like the main character's head gets spun around and like his robot body needs to throw a punch. So at first we were going to try to do that with our fake actor torso, but then like I just came up with the idea. It's like, well, the wig pops off the fake actor torso. We could just put this on Ben. So he just put on the wig backwards, and just for a quick shot, he just like punches, and it worked, and it's just so silly.
Yeah,
And
and
I
that
just love little fixes like that.
and that fix just seems like all around more efficient than what the original plan was. Because all you had to do was
Yeah.
just plop it on his head. But that reminds me of that story everybody talks about with Jaws, where it
Hmm.
was the shark kept messing up, so they utilized the barrels instead for much of the scenes, and
Yeah.
it ended up cultivating a little bit more tension and a little more suspense. So, um, big fan of quick fixes, also.
Love quick fixes.
Um, s-
Just the Occam's razor, just like the simplest solution.
yep, exactly. But speaking of Big Spooky House, what about this story like inspired you to make it? Like, what about this project is like, hey, this is going to be the thing that I make my feature on?
Well, it was deceptive because I thought it would like, oh, it's a big spooky house. It takes place in a big spooky house. That's one location. That's gonna be easy. But um, as the years have gone by, it's like, oh, this is really ballooned. So this might be more of a challenge than I thought it would be, and like every detail needs to be planned. But what really drove me to make this is just like I love films that are very atmospheric, and this felt like um, I'm not exactly making like a horror film. I'm making something that's spooky. And
Hmm.
what does that mean for something to be spooky? So I think that's fun, and it's like something I haven't seen of like a lot of movies that are just straight up spooky, and like they just have all the spooky things. Like if you've ever been down like the Halloween aisle at like a Target or whatever,
Yeah.
and just like seeing like all that stuff, it's like how could I cram all this into one movie?
Right.
So that's been like kind of like my mindset, and like how could I do that but also make a good story out of that?
Absolutely. And how does that tone compare to your other projects?
I would say like this, the tone of this movie is closer to Hamster in my head. Although I am like pulling from a lot from my old films here and there, and just sort of I think there'll be some more grounded moments, but I think overall it's going to be pretty silly. It's going to be pretty goofy. I want to keep it pretty campy and like tongue in cheek. Just it's a fun movie to put on maybe during the Halloween season. That's just all I want to make.
Yeah. And that's good to know that it's going to kind of capture that same, I guess, absurdism too that your films like to capture.
Yeah,
That's the
but
way that
also
I
I want it
describe
for
that.
adults. You know, like
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I love Hocus Pocus. I love that 1995 Casper movie, but I'm like I feel like adults are ready for that. Like people that are like big man children like me, they just want to see colorful things on the screen, but also like have it be directed towards them.
I'm trying to think, like, do you know of an example? And this could be why you're making this movie too, but can you think of like an immediate, like, adult example of that? Like, I guess maybe The Frighteners, right? The
Yeah,
Frighteners
right.
is a little bit,
A little
but
bit like that. I think that's pretty fun. But like what adult-ish horror comedies that are fun. Well, I guess like um, well, I mean, I pull a lot from Army of Darkness.
oh, of course, yeah, that's
Yeah, that
yeah,
it's
that's a
like a
big one.
lot of goofy skeletons and
Yeah, I love that. Um, so that yeah, that tone, I think, especially just the title, Big Spooky House. I
right.
mean that's what I would want, right? I'd want something
Right.
like
I
Army of
I want to
Darkness
give
or
the audience exactly what they are expecting, you know? Like I don't want to like shift gears on them, and like it's a lot of conversations with the producers, and it's like, "Oh, I think it should be a little more scary here." I'm like, "Yeah, it could be a little scary here and there, but like the movie's called Big Spooky House.
yeah,
We got to give them Big Spooky House." And like people that are like, "Oh, I want to see a movie called Big Spooky House because it's spooky and it's probably going to be a little goofy."
yeah. Yeah, because no one's going to go into that expecting Hereditary or something, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be pretty funny if I can give some scenes that are kind of hereditary, but we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's really great. And you mentioned it a little bit, but like, where exactly in the production process are you? Like,
So
obviously, you
I
don't
would
have to give details, but just like timeline wise.
so let me break all my NDAs right now. Uh,
Yeah, there we go.
I would say that we're really deep in development right now.
Okay.
So right now, I've been trying and failing to finish the final draft of the script. I don't feel bad about that because I mean, like, there's movies that have gone into production without finished scripts.
Yep.
That's not going to be the case. The script will be done probably by tomorrow or the day after that,
Oh,
just to be
perfect.
clear. And it's like we've known the bones for like over a year now. I think I started writing this sometime in May 2024. So we had a read through June 2025 with just some local actors. They were not officially cast in the movie, but from that read through, it was like we pretty much locked down the majority of the movie, and it was just the over the last few months of just working on this. It's just been like moving things around, just maybe seeing clarifying some things here and there. And I think I ended up taking things in a slightly different direction, but mostly everything is the bones are still there. And like we know how the movie starts, we know how the movie ends, and we're just kind of reworking the middle. But it's like scenes that have already been planned are still in there, and we're just making them better. We are um trying to make everything more cohesive with the theme and everything. And I think it has really evolved. I mean, that first draft was still a lot of fun, and I think that would have been a fun movie to see. But I do think that this new version is a lot better, and I think there's more. We get to see more of our favorite characters and everything, and I'm just really excited to show everybody.
Yeah.
And other than the script, yeah, we are in the process of finally locking in talent. Slowly but surely, we're going to kind of do. It's going to be a slow process of just like reaching out to people and seeing what they say, and we're going to also have. We're going to start special effects talks this week. So we're going to meet with some special effects people and see what they can do for us.
Oh, hell yeah. Because that'll be amazing just to get that step up from what you've done practically so far, and being able to source out people that can help grow that process for you.
Yeah,
Make it
there's
look great.
been a lot of storyboards and like concept arts, and even though in the past, like I've made a lot of the costumes and stuff, all the props myself, the producers really are trying to get me to do more just designing this time around. So someone else will kind of come in, someone who has more experience doing all this will come in and build stuff out, hopefully.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm hoping we have a rough idea where the budget's going to be, and we're still in the process of like finding funds.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I guess if it came down to like it's going to be like $5 and a pack of gum, like I would probably jump in and maybe hopefully make some stuff for the movie as well. We'll see.
Yeah, you'll cross that bridge when you get to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's awesome though. Because the special effects piece of it, especially if you get a little bit more of a budget, it's really cool. Because I mean, even on smaller budget films like anything Steve Kostansky has done, right?
Yeah.
Frankie Frico,
Mm-hmm.
The Void, or even his work that he helped on, like In a Violent Nature, on more of the gore side. People are able to do so much on so little. I think that
Yeah,
it's
I'm very surprised. I've been very like budget minded recently, and I've been just like, oh, how much did this movie cost? And like, what did they do with this budget? I'm like, okay, great. Maybe I should cut out this scene from Big Spooky House. So, I want to put the money where it matters, and I think a lot of it will go to a lot of the cool ghost effects and all the cool creature suits that we are trying to put on screen.
yeah, amazing. And I don't know if you've ever worked in manufacturing, but there's this idea called lean manufacturing. Have you heard of that? Lean Six
No, I
Sigma.
haven't.
It's like this idea where it's like this sense of efficiency and sustainability when you are, you're managing like a facility, like a manufacturing facility. But that's something that I've seen pertaining to filmmaking, and that's something that I think is great to look at from a budget perspective, because I think it's really important to kind of see where your excess is, and just when you look at a scene with the budget in mind. I don't think that I think that you can look at it and be like, not like, okay, I'll have to cut this. I think the best part is when you look at it and you're like, all right, now I know how to do this with a good budget, with a small budget. So I think it's always great to have those things in mind when especially this part of the process.
Yeah.
You want to make sure to.
But also, if I cut things, then we can have a sequel. We can put it in the sequel.
Put it in the sequel. That's that. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's another.
Yeah.
That's
Although I do
very
think
efficient.
that this movie's pretty cut and dry. I don't know if they'll need a sequel after this, but we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah. A bigger spooky house. A bigger, spookier house.
Maybe that'd be a fun title.
Yeah.
I've already thought of like another title too, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll get there when we get there, right? So besides this project, this huge project, what else do you have in the chamber? Like, what else do you kind of want to do? Once you're able to, however long this takes, get done with this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, all my spoons are going to Big Spooky House right now, but yeah, I have maybe two other features in mind. I think the one that I would do right afterward is going to be not a horror film, but it'll be another fantasy film. I think I like the idea of kind of switching off between projects. It's like, okay, I'm going to do one horror film and then one uh, movie that's out there that might be a little riskier.
Hmm.
But that's fingers crossed. I'm really hoping that Big Spooky House doesn't land me in movie jail. So I really hope that I could make another film after Big Spooky House. That's all I want to do. And fingers crossed, man. It's scary.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that the best way I've heard that said, and I think Christopher Nolan does it this way, is like you make one for them, one for you. You
Yeah,
know, which I think all of your movies are for you, because all of them are out there in their own way. But fantasy though, that definitely intrigues me because I think Deathstalker. Have you seen the
yeah.
new Deathstalker?
I haven't seen it yet, but it's
Oh,
been
it's
on my
so
watch list
good. So good.
to
If you
watch
if
list.
you're talking like practical effects and
Mhm.
everything, it's just but it's such a fun fantasy movie, you know. Um so really great to hear that you're kind of moving forward thinking of stuff like that, but obviously the focus is Big Spooky House. It's
Yeah,
like
and it's weird to be like I always want my brain to just be in the arts, and I want to be constantly making things. But it's like at the same time, it's like I have to figure out how to sell this movie, and I got to sell it no
mhm.
matter what. And I'm like always looking for new angles here and there, and like I've been very grateful that there's been a lot of doors opening for me recently, where I'm like, I could get this audience on board, and like
Yeah.
I think yeah, with like the casting, I don't think I'm gonna go for like people that are like mainstream people. They like A-listers. There's gonna be no Brad Pitt.
Oh
There's
man.
there's not gonna be no Timothy Chalamet. There's not gonna be anyone like that. I want there to be people that make sense for this project. That's like so different and like who you don't expect, or but you're gonna be like, I would like to see this guy in a spooky movie. So it's a lot of stuff like that behind the scenes, and yeah, I just want to keep making movies as long as they let me to make movies.
Yeah, I'm excited to see once you start announcing more about this project because that's gonna be really cool to see
Well,
what
you
you
can
get.
follow the Big Spooky House Instagram or the Candy House Instagram where they post constantly about it.
Hell yeah. And then kind of, piggybacking off that same idea, but just in general, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, hopefully alive. Um,
Same. Yeah.
but I just want to be in a stable place for my career. Like I hope that I never have to pick up like another job doing something that's not making movies. I think I would love, even if I was just a C-lister at like a convention signing autographs or something. I feel like that would make me feel like I've made it. Like I that's all I want, really. But yeah, I just hope that maybe in the next 5 years can come out with maybe one or two more projects. Just keep this ball rolling, keep this momentum going. Um, I hope to bring more jobs, film related jobs to Chicago and like really uplift the Chicago film community and, show people don't need to move to LA to make it. So I just really want to make it happen here.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that that's why, like, you've been everywhere I've gone for a filmmaking, like, networking event. Like, I always see you or people know who you are because you're very much about just bringing everybody together. You're very strong on the networking thing. And I think that's amazing because, once you start to meet more people not based in Chicago, you can really help with bringing those jobs to Chicago and bringing more projects out here.
Yeah. And I
Um,
mean, like, I obviously keep everything in Chicago, but I do want, filmmakers to like venture out, get
yeah,
outside of your backyard and like meet people in different states and different countries. And, like that connectiveness, like across the globe, just really also helps elevate the film scene here in Chicago.
absolutely. Yeah, and I think that that's such a great way to put it too. Um,
Because there's like things I've seen in like in other cities where I'm like, oh, we should bring that here. So I try to like implement that. I'm like, we don't really have a lot of cool fun underground genre based stuff. We got to have that here in Chicago. So I'm glad that there is like an audience for that here and that we can make those kind of screenings happen.
Yeah, and that's something that I love seeing more of, and you've done it too with short films and tall boys, right?
Yes.
And I think the more that we see that, the more it motivates people to create, because sometimes people strike out in the festival circuit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when they do, like, they have just like a local film friend group and they're like, you know what, I'll play your thing there, and being able to watch it with the crowd, I think that that helps
Right. And there's
encourage people.
just, yeah, like there's so many screenings too. And I'm like, I'm always getting invited for new screenings. And it's very cool that like these things just keep popping up. It's like, I've never talked to this person in my life, but they've invited me for a screening that's
Yeah.
in Chicago. I'm like, it's cool. I didn't know there was more of us. Yes, let's have more screenings. And like, especially because like how much I felt when I struck out with There's Something in the Woods, or when it was like, I I didn't get to see that on a screen until like after COVID, probably sometime in like uh, I don't know 2021 or something, like the fall of 2021, where like someone was just having a local screening and I submitted the film and like I got to finally see it on the big screen, and that's how I met the Kino Crew guys. They were at the same
Oh,
screening and I
hell
was like, I
yeah.
got to see their work, they got to see my work, and then we have started like that partnership where we just kind of jump on each other's projects, and it's like there's just so much momentum building in Chicago, and I just want everyone to understand that.
Absolutely. Beautifully said. But awesome, man. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. I had a blast
Thank
being
you
able
for
to talk
having
with
me.
you. Yeah, of course. Love your projects. Super creative, and there's not another Jerry Gonzalez out there, so always love to see it.
There it is. He's a trumpeter or something.
Yeah, probably.
That's why I go by Jerry S. Gonzalez.
Oh, okay, okay. That's smart. Yeah. But yeah, man, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.